makes me want to have a bowl. And then this is the next headline. Recently there was Veronica Guerin's 25th anniversary. And during Veronica Guerin's 25th anniversary, we had this individual pop up on a video being shared across, I don't know, social media or somewhere like that. Anyway, and this individual is John Gilligan. And John Gilligan is being associated with putting a hit out on Veronica Guerin. And he's living life large, you know, as you see him here, 25 years on now from the death of Veronica Guerin. He's enjoying himself over in Spain. And, you know, at a time when he's actually up for other cases, you've seen him in the 420 News not too long ago, where I was talking about was it a couple of kilos of cannabis he was found with pills and cash and a gun. But still, despite all of this, he's out enjoying life. Like, again, it's a failure of prohibition across our not just in Ireland, but just across the world in general. People like this guy, like, living the high life, are after causing much destruction in our communities, out there killing people and everything. It's ridiculous. But comments then from Veronica Guerin's brother, Jimmy. So Jimmy Guerin has come out, hit out recently, I suppose, after this picture surfaced, and called for cannabis to be legalized in order to take the criminality out of it. In other words, to take the organized crime gangs out of it is pretty much what he was getting to. And I'd very much welcome those comments as well. So these comments, as I say, came on after the surfacing of this photo on the 25th anniversary of Veronica Guerin's passing. It wasn't just a photo, it was actually a video showing him showing John Gilligan enjoying drinks in the sun on a rooftop terrace at a 4-star hotel in Spain's Alicante. So, you know, that would be really annoying, alright, to be sure. But speaking out, Jimmy said that this is another example of the contempt that he has for our family over the last 25 years. It also shows the type of person that we are dealing with, a man who has shown absolutely no remorse for a young mother gunned down in broad daylight. This is so insensitive and hurtful. On the 25th anniversary of my sister's callous murder, we were never under any illusion about the type of man we were dealing with. Jimmy added that John Gilligan just doesn't care about the lives his gang have destroyed. Someone like him will never change, and it was no surprise to see him caught up in organised crime again in Spain. Hopefully people will see that we have had, or what we have had to put up with for the last 25 years. The video was taken by one of Gilligan's young pals from Dublin's West who teased about him buying drinks. One said, "Not often you get 2 drinks off of John Gilligan." And in one clip, Gilligan, who's now 69, is seen laughing and smiling as he laps up in an adoration of his younger cronies, raising his drinks as his associates roar and cheer, with several shouting, "He didn't do it," referring to most likely the murder there of Veronica Guerin that happened 25 years previous. Shocking stuff, like, you know, and these criminals very much empowered by the prohibition that people like Frank Fian and Stephen Donnelly and any other supporters of prohibition support. By supporting prohibition, you're supporting the lifestyles of these individuals, because these individuals' lifestyles are only afforded to them because of the very prohibition you think is beneficial to public health. No, sorry, it's anything but. Jimmy Guerin, or Veronica Guerin, 37, was shot dead on an Innes dual carriageway outside Dublin on June 26th in 1996. One investigator has told us how pathetic Gilligan was, still intent on promoting his reputation as a kingpin. They said he's obsessed with maintaining his image, but has fallen so far down the pecking order. Before he was caught, he was shipping tons of cannabis into Ireland and living in Jessbrook. Now he's selling prescription pills. He's surrounded himself with younger men because he's desperate to stay relevant, and he has already survived his 2 hits in his life that would never have happened before when he was in his prime. He's a sad little man clinging to a fallen empire. So again, that's shocking to think, you know, that John Gilligan, a man who murdered an investigative journalist who was doing a good job at the time, in fairness, I would wonder where Veronica Guerin's views would have been should she had continued her work in terms of her views on cannabis prohibition and just even wider drug prohibition. Would she be a supporter of the message of decriminalise drug users and provide a safe and a regulated avenue for drug users to access their drug of choice? I wonder, like, where she would have lied on that. But obviously, you know, I see where Jimmy lies anyway, her brother, because he supports that that notion. At least he does when it comes to cannabis anyway. When he says that I think we need to look at legalizing and normalizing cannabis use to take the criminality out of it. If this were to happen, I think it would be another legacy to Veronica. So again, and he also added that in '96, Gilligan had accumulated 30 million through cannabis, and what sort of money would that be today? The money from those days has gone gone now to gangs such as the Kinnan cartels, and sure, it goes without saying, guys, the kind of damage that's been done out there by the Kinnan cartel in our society. It's absolutely crazy, like the violence that's been fallen upon our community because of them. Let's see if I can pull up a map there actually of the Dublin gangland murders and stuff like that. There was a map done over on Irish gangland, Irish gangland crime, gangland Iltel. That was the one, Irish gangland Iltel. It was a group over on Facebook. Is it still up? Oh man, I don't know. Is it still up actually? Shit, it looks like it's after being pulled down. That's a bummer if it has been pulled down actually. I wonder how I would find that now again. Sorry, no, I'm going to quickly see if I can get that up. No, Dublin Gang, I suppose. Yes, here we go. I think this might be it, would it? No, that's not it. No, this was a map that was made over on using Google Maps, where a person was able to drop pins. Oh, here it is. Actually, is this it? Yes, this is it. I'll pop this up on screen there now for you guys, and this is just showing Dublin, because this is crazy to see. I'll just have to go back to the previous page. Boom, there we go. So this is crazy to think. Like, look at that. This is all gangland killings from across Dublin, and on the side there, it actually has the names and everything associated with them. So in order to find this, I just googled Dublin gangland killings and a map, and I was able to find it through that. But you can see here, like, you know, all of these layers, absolutely crazy. Each one representing a killing. You know, here's just clicked in on one. Drug dealer Shay Bradley, 27, found shot dead in land at Black Horse Avenue near Cabra in March 2006. No conviction. Just clicking another one for the crack. Anthony Russell, 30, a convicted drug dealer and armed robber, was murdered in an execution-type gangland killing as he drank with friends in the Ardleigh Inn, Ardane, Dublin. There's many of them there, guys, you know. This is prohibition in effect. Like, this is what prohibition does to our society. Do you know, imagine you're above there. Where was that last one, Anthony Russell? You're above there, sitting at the Ardleigh Inn, enjoying your pints, or you're do you know, maybe even a meal. I don't know, do they do a bistro above there at the inn? And you're sitting there enjoying it with your family, and unbeknownst to you is sitting behind you, Anthony Russell, and in comes a hitman and shoots him up, man. Like, do we want that any longer in our society? That was in 2008. We're 13 years on from that now. I would hope by the end of this year, by this time next year, we would see a society that doesn't see this anymore. Because prohibition doesn't serve our public any good, you know. Thomas Riley, 35, shot dead in a car park of Premier Dairies in Rathfarnham where he worked. Gang related, a no conviction, March 1999. Again, you know, I could click on all these. There's loads of them there, guys. There's just too many to go through, but fuck me, man. Like, when are we going to see an end to this? Like, are we going to just keep on trying to get harder and harder on crime? Are we going to, you know, keep on getting your man Sod filling our prisons? You know, this fella filling our prisons with people, and their only crime is to have a bloody bit of plant material, a bit of cannabis herb. Like, this herb, it's an herb, man. This, you know, in fairness, like, come on. Wine is a deadly drug. If you were to overconsume it, you could die from wine. But yet we're allowed as adults access to wine because because we're educated about it. Can some people abuse it? Yes, they do. And is there harms in our society because of this? Yes, they do. But those are very minuscule. Imagine how grave those harms would be if alcohol was to be illegal, if wine was to be illegal. Imagine if you had to go to the back alley of Tesco instead of down the off-license aisle of Tesco to get your bloody, get your wine, to get your vodka, to get your drink. Do you know? Imagine the dangers. Having wine that's, you know, not even wine. It's literally just grape juice that has bloody terpenes or not terpenes, terpentenes put into it. You know, terps, or methanol, or some other sort of incredibly dangerous solvent. Because, you know, it's controlled by criminals, and criminals just want to make money. They don't care if you come back. Some of them are very short-sighted. You know, they don't think about the long-term custom there at all. No, that happens in a regulated environment. Ah, man. But look, that's it for today, guys. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's 420 news. Again, some positive, a lot of negative, unfortunately. But look, it's good to be able to report, and it's good to be able to highlight some of the just complete ignorance that's out there, the complete senselessness that exists around the prohibition of drugs right across the world. You know, whether it be to the €4 cases in Ireland here where we're locking people up, or whether it be to the killing of people over in places like in Myanmar, I'd imagine, where they still sentence people to death for their involvement in the drugs trade. You know, we need to highlight these injustices right across the world. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Once we get prohibition lifted in Ireland, I'm definitely going to continue to see it lifted in other places too, because it's just senseless. And I hope the people in America too, you know, where it all originated, I'd imagine from, through the UN, through the League of Nations all those years ago. We need to undo this injustice once and for all, because it just can't continue, man. It really can't. With all of the technology and the level of communication we have out there now, we need to be able to rise above this ignorance and do good for society. It makes me want to have a bowl.